Hey, what's going on, everyone? Most likely if you're watching this, you enjoy training, whether that's CrossFit, powerlifting, bodybuilding, wherever it happens to be that you're into, running marathons. The Boston Marathon happened a couple days before this video was getting taped or recorded. So most of us want to try and train more. We're addicted to the idea of training, but most of us don't kind of respect the process or understand how we're able to train more or what that looks like. So first thing first, we want to make sure that you understand what allows you to train. The better you recover, the more you're able to train, the harder you're able to train, the intensity gets higher, the more weight you're able to lift. So first thing we want to look at is number one, sleep. Most people don't look at sleep, they don't protect sleep. Anyone that's watching this or anyone you know has ever been a professional athlete, they protect and guard their sleep. And we're talking like 8 to 10 hours a night, which seems aggressive if you're someone who doesn't sleep more than 6 hours a night. A lot of people I know get 5. And what I mean by 8 hours of sleep is, let's say you have to wake up at 6 a.m. for work. You're in bed at 9:30 so you can sleep a full 8 hours. Your body recovers, it resets, your hormone profiles, all that stuff gets better when you sleep. Whether you're looking to lose weight, gain muscle, anything, sleep is a vital part of it. It's almost impossible, not impossible, it's very hard to improve in areas of fitness or your body composition if you don't sleep. So, for example, when I took over CrossFit Soar, I was 190, 195 pounds. 3 years later, low sleep, bad nutrition, barely working out, I put on 40 pounds from stress and not sleeping, okay? It crushed me. So number two, we're gonna look at nutrition. All right, so if you take your fitness seriously, if you take your health serious, you gotta take a look at nutrition. And I'm talking about actually logging it. Download MyFitnessPal, it's very easy to use. It takes a little bit to get used to if you haven't done it before, but we wanna track your nutrition to see whether or not you're getting too much, too little, whatever it happens to be. Recently, we just started a nutrition program at the gym. We were tracking someone who thought they were eating enough calories. They're a 6-foot male, weigh around 200 pounds. They were eating 1,300 calories a day while working a high-stress job, while not sleeping that much. I'm talking like 6 hours, maybe 7 hours on a good night, but most of the time 5.5, 6 hours. And they were trying to CrossFit hard 4 to 5 times a week. So you multiply it all together, you add up the stress from their job, the stress from their work, trying to CrossFit, it wasn't going well. We had to up their calories a lot, and when you know their body composition is changing in the right direction. Next thing we're gonna look at is actually your aerobic capacity. I know that seems so strange to talk about, but what I mean by aerobic capacity, it's your body's ability to recover from hard bouts of exercise. So no matter what you do, you always recover in your aerobic pathway. And hopefully pretty soon we're gonna do a video on whether or not, if I can control your week, how I'd like you to train, all right? And then the next part we're gonna talk about is how to structure your training. And I'll talk about that in a second, we'll come back to aerobic capacity. What I mean about this is lower heart rate, longer bouts of exercise. So maybe week one, you start with just walking 30 minutes 3 times a week, and then you go up to 40 minutes. Hiking, very low level, non-eccentric loaded exercise. So eccentric loading is when you lower yourself into a squat under load, right? That breaks down muscle. So even running, there's eccentric loading in running, right? The impact from it. We're talking stuff like cycling, walking, light carries and sleds, rowing, all lower heart rate. So you can look up how to figure out your aerobic threshold, but we want to make sure that you're in an aerobic state while we do this, okay? So for me personally, I have to stay below like a 130 heart rate while doing this stuff, all right? So it's one of the few areas where I like to look at target heart rate stuff because it really does help. Next is structure your training, okay? So whatever you're working on, wherever it happens to be, if you have no structure, you have no way to tell whether or not you're ramping up intensity, volume, whether or not you're overtraining, if you've been hitting the same areas over and over and over again. Now, I know in the world of CrossFit, we talk about constantly varied. Varied does not mean unstructured, and varied does not mean random. So what we do here is we have structureyourstrength.com. That's where we have structured strength, stamina training. Mostly using weights and carries and stuff of that nature. It's not a lot of gymnastics, but you want to have some structured training or find someone who has a structured plan for you. So that way you're just not randomly training, hitting these bouts of intensity, trying to compete every day to the point where you burn yourself out. So if you want to train more, look at these 4 areas. Are you running around with your head cut off? Do you actually have an aerobic base so you can go out there and train more? Because that aerobic capacity will help. Nutrition, do you even care about it? Do you think you're doing well? Do you know? Do you weigh, measure? Have you ever done that? Do you really take a look at what you're getting there, macro and micronutrient wise? Sleep, That's my number one for anyone that comes to me that's mad that they're not getting better. We always look at sleep. All right, so hope this helps. You can check it out. You can check out Structure Your Strength in the link down below in the description. Talk to you guys soon.